I'd like to call this meeting of the Peoria Planning and Zoning Commission to order. I want to welcome everybody attending tonight's Planning and Zoning Commission meeting in person. I'll also like to welcome those who might be watching on Peoria Channel 11 tonight. Glad to have you all with us. We're going to begin with roll call tonight. Commissioner Clay Alsop.
Present.
Commissioner Brian Patterson.
Present.
Commissioner Bill Lewis.
Present.
Secretary Jay Atluski is absent. Chairman Sean Hutchinson is absent. And I, Vice Chairman Jeff Nelson, am present. If I may, I'd like to read an opening statement that we begin all meetings with. The Planning and Zoning Commission is composed of Peoria citizens who have been appointed by the City Council to serve on the Commission as a civic responsibility without compensation. Our duty is to study and review planning and zoning issues within the City of Peoria and to forward our recommendations to the City Council. All hearings are conducted in accordance with the rules for procedures and Robert's Rules of Order. Each case will be called in the order in which it appears on the agenda unless otherwise announced during the meeting. In the interest of maintaining a fair and efficient hearing, the Commission adheres to the following steps. Chairman calls the case. Staff gives a brief report and recommendation. The applicant is invited to give a presentation. Opposition and support gives testimony. Applicant may give rebuttal. Commission discussion and decision. Anyone wishing to speak must complete a speaker's request form and hand it to our planning assistant on my left. We ask that you please be as brief as possible and avoid repeating statements already made by others. Anyone wishing to protest the decision of a commission public hearing item must request a second public hearing before the City Council. The request must be submitted in writing to the Peoria Planning and Community Development Department within 10 days of the Commission's hearing. All Commission recommendations on public hearing items move forward to a regular City Council meeting. The City Council will then act on the recommendation of the Commission. They may concur with the decision, modify it, or overturn it. We welcome and encourage citizens' comments, and as fellow citizens of Peoria, we thank you in advance for your participation. Before I go any further in the agenda, staff, I understand, would like to make a brief presentation tonight, and I'm not sure who will be doing that. Will you be you, Mr. Pruitt?
I will, thank you.
All right, take it away.
Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission, just a couple items tonight. First, again, taking things out of order, we usually say this for the end of the meeting, but just want to let everyone know our next meetings coming up will be December 7th, 2017 at 6:30 in this location. The December 21st meeting will be canceled, and then our next meeting after that will be January 4th, 2018. But also, as a second item, tonight I'd like to take a minute to recognize two of our Planning and Zoning Commissioners, Bill Lewis and Lee Strickman, who have served this commission in our city for many years. Commissioner Strickman resigned from the commission earlier this year after serving since 2009, and Commissioner Lewis's final term will conclude next month after 12 years of service. You've seen a lot. Our commitment, or your commitment to the community through your participation on this commission speaks to your vision for Peoria's future. Your guidance and support have been instrumental to Peoria's growth and will be forever appreciated. So as a token of our appreciation, we'd like to present each of you with a plaque to commemorate your service and, of course, our gratitude. So thank you.
Congratulations, you both. Thanks again for your service. We really appreciate it. And thanks for being here tonight, Lee. Good seeing you again. All right.
That is all from staff.
That conclude your report?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So this is the final call to submit speaker request forms. If anyone wishes to speak, please fill out a speaker request form and provide it to Ms. Ernest seated at the end of the dais. All right, we're going to move on to the consent agenda. That's next to go here. The consent agenda is for items that are routine in nature and consist of 3 items tonight. We have item 1C, discussion and possible action to approve the minutes of the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting held on November 2nd, 2017. Excuse me. Item 2C is case CU17-14, a request to obtain a conditional use permit for an outdoor dining and seating area for an existing restaurant called Fabio on Fire. The site is located south of the southwest corner of Lake Pleasant Parkway and 83rd Avenue and is zoned Fletcher Heights Planned Area Development. Our last item is item 3C, case number CU17-13, a request to obtain a conditional use permit for an outdoor dining and seating area in conjunction with a new native grill and wings restaurant located on a vacant commercial pad at 25279 North Lake Pleasant Parkway. Do any commissioners have any questions or comments about any of the three consent agenda items tonight? I hear none. All right, do I have a motion to approve or disapprove?
Mr. Chairman, move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Lewis. All right, please vote. And it's unanimously approved. Thank you, Commissioners. We now move on to regular agenda. We have 3 items under new business in the regular agenda. Item 4R is our first item. It's case number Z17-22, Cross of Glory Annexation, a public hearing to consider a request to apply initial zoning to a recently annexed 7.52-acre property from Maricopa County Rural 43, otherwise known as RU 43, to the City of Peoria Suburban Ranch 43, or SR 43. This property is located south of the intersection of 101st Lane and Joe Max Road. Staff, please present your report.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Jennifer Faustino, and I will be presenting case Z1722, Cross of Glory Annexation Initial Zoning. The city is initiating the rezoning of this property, or the initial zoning of this property, which is located at the northeast corner of 102nd Avenue and Joe Max Road. It is approximately 7.52 acres. And the request is to zone the property from Maricopa County Rural 43 to a similar zoning district, which in this case is Suburban Ranch 43, better known as SR 43. The current use is on the northern portion of the property. It is a place of worship known as Cross of Glory Lutheran Church. They are looking to expand in the future. No formal applications have been submitted yet for that. To the north, we have Tierra del Rio subdivision, a single-family residential subdivision. It is zoned planned area development. To the east, south, and west, we do have vacant and single-family residences. These are all still within Maricopa County and are not in the jurisdiction of Peoria as of now. So on the left is our general plan land use map. Currently, the subject property and all of the surrounding properties do have a land use designation of low-density residential. And low-density residential allows for 2 to 5 dwelling units per acre with a target of 3 dwelling units per acre. Sorry. And then we have the zoning map. I apologize. On the zoning for this property, as we said, it's Maricopa County Rural 43, as are all the surrounding properties to the east, west, and the south. To the north is planned area development, which is Tierra del Rio. Tierra del Rio does have lot sizes that range between 6,000 and 43,000. And again, with the land use designation of low density, their target is for suburban lifestyle, which is anywhere from 8,000 square feet to 12,000 square foot lots. So this does fall in the realm of that. And the current use of the property, which is a place of worship, is currently an approved use in the proposed zoning district of SR 43. The property was annexed into Peoria on October 17th, 2017, with ordinance number 2017-43, which actually goes into effect tomorrow. State statute does require that we do the rezoning within 6 months of the annexation. It also requires that the zoning district that we rezone it to is equivalent to the district it was in Maricopa County. So right now, our closest district to RU 43 is SR 43. The site was posted by the city. There was no opposition or support received to date. Staff just find that the key findings have been met and the property was annexed into Peoria. State statute requires the city to provide the closest equivalent zoning district, which we've done with SR 43. And staff does recommend approval. Staff does recommend that the Planning Commission recommend approval of case Z1722 to City Council. And we are available for any questions.
Great, thank you. Do any commissioners have any questions of Ms. Faustino? None? Okay. I've opened the public hearing. Is the applicant on this matter present? That's a no. All right. Have you received any speaker request forms on this? Okay, thank you. All right. Well, hearing no speakers, we're going to close the public hearing. I've now closed public hearing. Do we have any further questions or comments from commissioners before we take action on Z17-22? All right. Do I have a motion?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I move to approve item 4R.
Thank you, Commissioner Patterson. We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Alsop. Please vote. And it's unanimously approved. All right, next item is 5R, case Z17-23, 71st Avenue and Thunderbird annexation, initial zoning. This is a request to consider applying initial zoning to 3 parcels totaling 11.82 acres that were recently annexed into Maricopa County Residential Unit Plan Development to the City of Peoria Planned Area Development. The property is located at the northwest corner of 71st Avenue and Thunderbird. Staff is requesting a continuance of this item to the December 7th, 2017 meeting. So Planning and Zoning Commission will not be taking action on this tonight. Excuse me. Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes, Commissioner Nelson.
Mr. Chairman, there is an action required to continue the item.
Thank you
if
for
choose to.
reminding me. All right, so we'll need a motion to continue this to the December 7th meeting. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I motion to continue this to the December 7th meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner Alsop. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Commissioner Lewis. All right, please vote. And it's been unanimously approved to continue this to the December 7th meeting. Thank you, Commissioners. Our third and final item under new business is item 6R, case number Z17-19, Metzger Residence Rezone. This is a request to rezone approximately 1 acre from Suburban Ranch 43, or SR 43, to single-family residential R1-35. No development is contemplated as part of this rezoning application. The property is located at 7423 West Rowell Road. I hope I pronounced that right. Staff, would you please present your report on this item?
Members of Commission, good evening. My name is Randy Proch. I will be presenting item 6R. This is Z17-19, Metzger Residence. The location, as mentioned, is at 7423 West Rowell Road. This is just south of Joe Max Road, just east of 75th Avenue. The request is to rezone from Suburban Ranch 43 to single-family residential R1-35. This property does exist in its current form with a house that already has been built, and this lot is 1 acre. There is no proposed change to it. The applicant is Jeremiah Metzger. To the south, surrounding the property, is the Terramar subdivision. To the north and west is the Rock Spring subdivision. And to the immediate north is Alora Vita South, a proposed future residential development. The current zoning district designation on this property is Suburban Ranch 43. To the north is a continuation of that same district. Across Joe Max Road, Elora Vita South is a planned community district. Rock Springs to the north and west is a planned area development. And then surrounding the site to the immediate south and east and west is a range of zoning districts from R18 to R110 to R112. What this means is these are all single-family zoning districts ranging from lot sizes from 8,000 to 12,000 square feet in size. Think of this area as an area that was not entitled with the adjacent Terramar subdivision that's remained SR 43 since initial zoning. The request this evening is to change from SR 43 to R 135. Now, again, there's no changes proposed to the existing lot as it exists today with the house that exists there today. And maybe oddly enough, the designation for this property is park open space on our general plan land use map, which doesn't make much sense. However, to the immediate west is New River. And at the time, our general plan land use map showed a wider swath of land that covered not only the river, but the adjacent area. A majority of the Terramar subdivision is also currently designated for park open space. Now, with that land use designation in our general plan, it does allow some single-family zoning districts that underline that designation. Now, these do have a target of 1 dwelling unit to the acre. Our lot tonight is 1 acre and has 1 dwelling unit. So we are in line with the general plan designation. As mentioned, there's no proposed changes with this lot. The structure already exists as is. Really, the meat of the request this evening for the rezoning is to align the property closer with the surrounding developments as far as their development standards go. This will allow a better utilization of the property when it comes to setbacks and lot coverage. These are covered here on this slide, highlighted in bold and in red. The changes you see between SR 43 and R 135 are not significant in a number of ways. And again, there isn't a change being proposed with the existing lot as it exists. This would only change for the purposes of future utilization of the property, with lot coverage allowing more structures to be built, like a garage, gazebo, pergola, and allow a more conducive interior side setbacks that are uncommon for the area. In fact, the R18, R110, R112 zoning districts that surround this property would have even more intense development standards than what is being proposed this evening. As part of our public outreach process, we sent out a notice of application and a notice of hearing for tonight's item to all residents within 600 feet and all homeowners associations within 1 mile of the site. The site was also posted in accordance with our city requirements, which is 4 feet by 8 feet. To date, the proposal has only had 1 phone call with just general inquiries regarding the proposal. It's a bit unique as far as we don't usually have rezonings of this nature, so we were certainly glad to take the phone call. The caller was neither opposed nor in support of the project. We had a neighborhood meeting as well as part of our process. It was held on October 3rd at the Sunrise Mountain Library at 6 p.m. The applicant and I attended and were there from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Unfortunately, we did not have any other members of the public that attended with us. Our findings, again, as strange as it may sound, the rezoning request is consistent with our general plan land use designation of park open space. Again, that does allow a target density of 1 dwelling unit to the acre. And again, this request is consistent with the zoning and development patterns in the general vicinity, which are even more intense onto the west, south, and east. Our request for you this evening is to recommend approval of case Z17-19 to the City Council, subject to the conditions outlined in the staff report. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for your report, Mr. Proch. Do we have any commissioners have any questions? Nope. All right, I'm going to open the public hearing. Is the applicant present tonight? Would you wish to speak? Okay. Do any commissioners have any questions of the applicant? Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Lewis.
You want him to come forward?
Oh, that's a good idea. We have one question for you. If you wouldn't mind coming forward. If you would, for the record, would you state your name and address for the record?
Jeremiah Metzger, 7423 West Rowell Road.
Thank you. Wait, yeah, bring over that podium right over there. Thank you. All right, Commissioner Lewis?
Thank you. I read the report, and I'm just trying to figure out why you're doing this. I'm not necessarily opposed to it.
Sure.
But all the years I've been here, I've never seen a case like this come forward to change zoning with no apparent reason. And I'm just wondering why you're doing it.
Well, the rezoning really is just to bring it into compliance and just where the rezoning, how everything else is zoned currently. Sorry, I've never gone through this process before. The purpose of that is I'm getting ready to start planning as far as just the future development of the property, and I need to know just what the requirements are as far as my neighbors go and all of that, as far as setbacks and just the use. Like Randy said, as far as we haven't done anything with the yard, so where we can place a pool, a gazebo, a potential shop in there, and that type of thing. And so we're hoping that we can get zoning that will match just our surroundings with that.
Isn't the parcel directly north of you, isn't that Suburban Ranch?
Yeah, it all used to be one parcel, and it's been subdivided and broken down, also to the east of me as well.
Can you put that slide back up that showed the zoning? Yeah, that's SR 43 directly north, right?
Yes, all the white there, and then also my property, and then the lighter yellow there, that all used to be one parcel. And since then, it's been subdivided and and shrunk, basically. So,
So you're not part of Terramar. That's
I am
west
not.
of,
We
I
back
mean,
right
east
up to
of you, right?
Terramar. Yep.
Yeah, west of it. Okay, thank you very much.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Thank you, Ms. Metzger. All right, do we have any speaker forms on this? No? All right, I'm going to close the public hearing. Any further questions or comments from commissioners before we take action on item Z17-19? All right, hearing none, may I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we send a favorable recommendation to City Council on item 6R, which is Z17-19.
Thank you, Commissioner Lewis. Do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Alsop. We have a motion and a second on the table. Please vote. And that passes unanimously. All right, the next agenda item is call to the public. Are there any comments from the public on non-agenda items? All right. Seeing that there are no comments on non-agenda items, let's move on to our next item, which would have been updates from staff, but we have everything from you, right? All right, so we're going to go to reports and updates from the Planning and Zoning Commission. Do any commissioners have anything to share tonight?
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to defer until the December 7th to say my final say-so.
Okay, we'll look forward to that. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
All right, having no other reports, we're seeing no further business. That is, I call this meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody.